Easter, everybody. It is April 12th, 2020, Easter Sunday, day 12 of the Zazoo Plazz April Video Challenge. I am Leslie Plazz, author of The Audacious Adventures of Zazoo Plazz, part-time superhero, full-time mom. And I would like to offer you a virtual Cadbury egg. These are my absolute favorite. And my husband went out and got some today. And he also got everybody bunnies. I got a lint bunny. Not the kind with the stuff that, from the dryer that gets caught in your belly button, but the kind with the D, the lint, which is very good chocolate. So I will be having maybe a little taste later, either one of my little eggs here or a little bit of my bunny. And so today, since we're talking about the Cadbury Easter eggs, might as well start off with the reading from the book. Moon is in Sagittarius. So I woke up thinking about my friends that I used to work out at the gym with a couple years ago, before we all kind of went our separate ways. I talk about them in the book. There's a whole story, at least one story, about my gym friends. So, hi, everybody. This one's for you. So when I left the gym, I needed to concentrate on the book. So 2 years ago, I started working out at home in my husband's, at the time, the treadmill and everything was in the same room in the basement as my husband's office. So it was Easter week 2 years ago, and then I wrote this. I had all this energy, and I was going to, get up early and, work out and be all at my desk at 7 o'clock having tea and, and everything. And in the prologue, you'll read that it doesn't quite turn out that way. But so what happened was, I sprang out of bed like a rocket and threw on my workout clothes. Once down in the basement workout corner, I was overpowered by the chocolate smell emanating from the empty bag of crunchy chocolate Easter eggs in the man cave trash can. I removed the bag in order to focus on my exercise. So yeah, it's hard enough to resist temptation normally, and it's hard enough to stick with a workout routine, but when you got the smell of chocolate, those chocolate Easter eggs, it's very hard to stay disciplined, isn't it? And those are that's Charlie. He's in the book too, my neighbor's dog. But anyway, I want to acknowledge that it is very difficult to resist those little crunchy chocolate Cadbury Easter eggs, the candy-coated ones. But I was thinking of my workout friends today, and one in particular, let's call her V. Her son is graduating high school senior, and she's praying that they will get a graduation ceremony, and she agreed with me. She said this is the time that we really need these superhero stories for all the superhero moms and everybody else during this time. I kind of feel, I'm getting to feel like this is sort of a time capsule, and as a major holiday has come during this time, this health crisis, this world shutting down thing we're going through. It occurs to me that holiday is a time when we think about the past, and I think about how we used to celebrate Easter, even when I was a little girl. My parents used to we'd get all dressed up, and they put me in a little dress. And back in the '60s, when I was little, um, women still wore hats and gloves and everything, and pocketbooks to church, and they dressed little girls up like little women. I had a little pastel dress and little white gloves and a little hat with a ribbon on it, probably, and maybe a little coat if it was chilly. And I have a picture of myself dressed that way. Many pictures of myself. Of course, in the '70s, then we didn't do the hats or anything. It was just one or two Easters when I was a little one. Um, I remember that, and I remember going to church. And my parents have this story about me. I had a little patent leather pocketbook, and they left me in the pew to go up to receive communion, which the Catholic faith, it's, toward the end of the Mass, everyone goes up, and, in those days, you open your mouth and the priest would put the host on your tongue, and today they receive it in the hand, but back then, so my parents went up and did that, and then they were coming back, and I couldn't wait, I ran out into the middle of the aisle, and I started taking pictures of them with my pocketbook. And to this day, my mother she said some lady was always coming up to me and saying, "I'll never forget that time your daughter was taking pictures of you with her pocketbook. It was the cutest thing I ever saw." And, I guess it just seemed, because in those days, of course, we had, cameras that were, for you younger ones who don't remember this, the cameras were boxy. So a little girl's pocketbook was about the size of a camera, a boxy camera. You'd take pictures that had film and a flash, and, my dad had one. So to me, it was the most natural thing in the world to use it for that. And my parents were all dressed up, everybody's all dressed up. It's like the red carpet at the Oscars, right? Coming back from communion. Boy, all your neighbors would be there, your friends, everybody would be in church on Easter, dressed up. The priest would go with the water. Dad would get water on his glasses. He'd have to wash them off. So many stories. So even when my boys were little, I used to dress them up in little suits with little sweater vests, little pants, and it occurred to me how much money we used to spend. We really went all out, because you had to have new clothes on Easter. And now look at me, sitting here in jeans and a top. All we spent money on this year was a ham, some potatoes, and asparagus, and a couple of mini lemon meringue pies, not like Granny's. It's a good story about my granny and her lemon meringue pie. She was the best. But we got a couple little ones from the store, so we're going to split those and have our little bunnies. But I've already done my working out today, thanks to the Sagittarius moon. Lots of fire, Aries sun, Sag moon. I got out there, walked the dog. I came back to clean 3 bathrooms vigorously with my mask and my gloves. My husband brought some Easter leftovers, put on his mother's step with the toilet paper and a few other things, and talked to her from the car. So it really is, it's very difficult for her generation. She's 90. She starts decorating for Easter after Valentine's Day. She skips right over St. Patrick's Day and just goes right to Easter. And no kielbasa, no babka, no pineapple, no all the eggs. Used to dye the eggs. That was my favorite. I did that up until last year, and even though my boys were way too old, I do it for myself. I love Easter. But you know, I realize that it's really now down to the things that are really important. You know, I spent time with my family, walked the dog, saw some beautiful trees in bloom, waved to people from 24 feet away, um, sent them love. You know, I did go online and I saw the Pope doing Mass from the Vatican earlier today, so I, when I tuned in, and I really wanted to hear him speak, but I would move the cursor, they'd start singing, they would start singing the Gloria. The thing that I couldn't do as a kid was move the cursor, and 10 minutes into the Mass, they're still singing the Gloria, so I keep moving the cursor. 15 minutes. Half an hour in, I was able to listen to the Pope speak, which was what I really wanted. And the singing was beautiful too. The singing, it being like our big Catholic Mass, it was always the longest Mass of the year. And rightly so, because Jesus rose from the dead, and that is the key. It's the center of our faith. And so I was looking for some inspiration today, and I found comfort. I find comfort in the traditions of our faith, and also just praying on my own, even just reading the readings and praying and reflecting on my own, and on what's happening, and never thinking in a million years that I'd see the Pope standing by himself, doing Mass on the highest Mass day of the year, with like 6 people in the audience, and that was, wow, enormous, beautiful church. And of course, you can find God anywhere. And I connected with God outside, to my loved ones, my dog, Candy. And what I did was I sang the Alleluia, that song, the song, Jesus Christ is risen today. I won't sing it for you because I'm not a singer. Probably because one of those masses when I was a kid, I started belting out that song. Everybody, the organ was swelling. They were singing, Jesus Christ is risen today. And I started singing at the top of my little 6-year-old voice, or however old I was, 4 years old. And somebody, I forget if it was my dad, because he used to just mouth the words. I must have been screaming at the top of my lungs and singing from the very bottoms of my toes, because somebody went, shh. And then after that, I didn't really like singing around other people too much. So I go in the bathroom, or I go somewhere nobody can hear me, and I sing at the top of my lungs. In the closet, I sing my Easter song, and then I feel better. And now I talk to you so I feel better, and now I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to have my ham dinner that my husband prepared, and with my scalloped potatoes and my asparagus, and maybe a little wine, just a little wine. Wash it down in my lemon meringue pie. Yeah, looking forward to it. I got my Easter hat. And what the heck? I got my Easter egg dress from the book. It's still good. This is my Easter egg dress. My favorite dress for Easter. 10 years now. I don't know, it's probably more like 5 years. But in any case, so for those of you out there who celebrate, Happy Easter, or as our neighbors have been celebrating Passover, their special time of year also, and whatever. I send you light, I send you love, and much laughter.